Today I'm going to create one Spring Boot project using REST API. Okay. So in that we'll create one Get API and we will call that API from the browser. Okay. So I'm creating new Spring Starter project. So I'm going to create one student application. So student application or new. Okay. So I'm using build tool as a Maven and packaging is a char and using Java language and Java version will be the 17. Okay. So group name will be the com.dsk. You can choose your own name here and application name will be the student application and package will be the com.dsk. Okay. This will be also your own choice. Okay. I'm clicking on next. So I'm using Spring Boot version is a 3.1.4 latest version. So if you are using Spring Boot version from 3, you need to install Java 17 because of Spring Boot 3 support the base version will be the Java 17. Okay. So I'm selecting Spring Web as a dependency. And if you are new to this first time if you are adding dependencies, you can search here Spring Web. Okay, it will display here. You can select from here also. So I'm not going to touch with, not going to interact with any database. So I'm not selecting any other dependencies. To create application with REST API, this only one jar is sufficient. So I'm selected this Spring Web. Okay, I'm clicking on next and I'm clicking on finish. So the application is created. So the base package will be created. We provided name, the base package name com.dsk. So it is created. And this class, while creating project, the by default, this class will create. And this class will be, we also called as Spring Boot starter class or main class. Okay. So, in real time, in the any application, we follow structure like this layers, controller layer, service layer, DAO layer. Okay. So for each layer, we will use separate packages here. So we'll create like that. Okay. So com.dsk controller, com.dsk service, com.dsk.do. Okay. So in this application, I'm not going to create any classes in DAO because I'm not going to interact with the database. Okay. So we'll create controller, student controller in controller package. And student service in this service package. Okay. So I'm making this controller is a REST controller by using REST controller annotation. Then we can access what are the APIs available in this service, in this controller from outside of the application. Okay. So we'll create one Get API like public get all students. Okay. It will return list of students. Okay. I'm importing this list from java.util. So we need to create this student entity actually. So here I'm not going to actually database, right? So we will create the student as a Pojo class. So we'll create one new package like com.dsk.entity. In this entity package will create student class. Okay. We will take three properties like private int student ID, private string student name, private we will take mobile number. So long student mobile number. Okay. So we'll create setters and getters. Source. So for these three properties, created setters and getters method, and I will create a constructor using fields. So source generate constructor using fields. Okay. So the student class is ready for us. So I'm going back to controller layer. Okay. So here, so first I'm making this. Okay. Will import the student class from this package com.dsk.entity. I'm making this API as a get API by using GetMapping annotation, and I'm providing mapping address is a like get all students. Okay. So now here we need to call service API. It will return all student details. Okay. So first we'll auto-write that student service in this controller. Okay. Like student service. So I'm making this as a auto wiring. So I'm importing this student service from service package. So currently we don't have any API in this service. So, but we will create. Okay. So get all students. Okay. It will return list of students. Okay. Okay. We will call this get all students from this service. The service layer API give list of students. We will return those list from controller. Okay. Controller layer is ready. So we will go to this service class. So first we need to make this class as a Springboot car service component by using this service annotation. So we'll create one API public will return list of students. Okay. Get all students. I'm importing this list from this util package, importing service student from entity package. So in real time, we will call DB will fetch student details. Okay. But in this application, I'm not interacting with database. So here we will create student object and we will add those student object to one list will return from this API. Okay. Like I'm creating student object student s1 equal to okay. Student ID will be the one. Student name will be the Santosh. Number will be the mobile number. Okay, I took one dummy name here, dummy mobile number here. So the mobile number will be the long rate. So I'm mentioning here real. Okay. So like this, I'm creating four student objects. S1, S2, S3, S4. Okay. So some Ramesh, Manoj, some Monica. Okay. So mobile number with the 8878. Like here will take 0. Okay. I created four student objects. Okay. So I'm creating one student list. I create I created one student list. For that list, for that student list, I'm adding student objects. Okay. S2, S3, S4. Okay. So I'm returning the student list from this service API. Okay. Okay. So service layer is ready. Controller layer is ready. After starting Spring Boot application, if we call, so the triggering will come to here, this controller API. It will call this service layer and it will return this list of student. So the controller will back to controller again and it will return this student list to the browser, the client. Okay. So we'll run this application. Okay. So run this Spring Boot app. Okay. Spring Boot app. Okay. So the application is started here with port number 8080. Okay. So from the browser, so I'm at, so from the browser, from the browser we'll call this API. Okay. So yes, these four student objects are four students are retrieved. Okay. So see, so the trigger we call this API with this address. So that triggering will come to here. It will call this service layer. It will create this list of objects. So this is the Git API, guys. So in coming days, I will explain about post and delete and put. Okay. And in coming days, I will interact with the database and I will handling exception handling and security. All things will apply to this application or will create new application. Okay. Thanks.